Welcome to A Quest for Metal. Today we are going to be doing the grand task of ranking every single Opeth song of all time from the studio albums. I'm not going to count any B-sides or any ones from EPs. It's just from the studio albums. So there's 90 in total. And yeah, I'm going to rank them all and tell you what I thought. Opeth is my favourite band of all time. It's no surprise to anyone who is regular on my channel. So this is probably the hardest list I've ever had to do. The hardest list I've ever had to do, because aside from one song, I love every other song. So this was difficult. It took me a long time, but this is just me rambling now. So let's get straight into the list with the weakest Opeth song, in my opinion. So number 90, coming up last, is the only Opeth song I'm not too keen on. It's the only one I can't really get my head around. And that is Charlatan, from the latest album, In Cauda Venenum. The reason I don't like this one, it's the only Opeth song I don't like, is perhaps maybe because there's no guitars on it. It's only bass. That could be one of the reasons. The other reason is that they kind of implement this weird synthy beepity boopity sound effects throughout the song, and it's really off-putting. Like, the melody itself is fine, the song itself is fine, but then they're adding these sound effects and it just sounds fucking awful. So it's the only Opeth song I don't like. From here on out, they're all like really good songs, so it's really hard. This list was really hard for me, but we will power through. Charlatan is the weakest for me. Maybe it'll grow. It's a new one. Maybe it'll grow, but for the time being, it's gonna be last. Coming in at 89, we have the song Famine. Now this, I really like this song. I really do. But compared to all the others, this one is a bit too experimental. It's a bit too weird. It's a bit too King Crimson-y. And I like King Crimson, but this just feels, it just feels strange. Like, this is probably aside from Charlatan, this is probably the strangest Opeth song, with like weird sections just all throughout. Heritage is a very experimental album, and I love it. I do love it, but I think this structurally, compared to all the other songs on Heritage, is the weakest. Like, compared to like Folklore, compared to Devil's Orchard, this one just doesn't sing to me as much as those. So let's go in the tail end of the list, I'm afraid. Number 88, Elysian Woes. There's probably a theme that a lot of the newer songs are going to be tail end of the list, but what can I say? You know, I like the death stuff more. But this song is fine. It's probably the weakest one from the album, in my opinion. And this album is fucking fantastic. I adore this album. It's probably one of my favorites of the newer era of Opeth. Pale Communion is just, it's magnificent. But this is the weakest. For me, like, it's easily the weakest on the album. It's the one which is kind of, there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just kind of bland. And for an Opeth song, you don't really want it to be bland. So for that reason, it's going here. Number 87, back with Heritage, we have the song Sliver. Now, this is a fun song. I really do like the song. I like that the song was a dedication song. So I love that about it. I love how different it is. How it's like a fast, rocky song compared to all the other songs. But that's also the reason it's a bit lower, because it's simple. It's just a simple, short, fast, energetic song. It's really, really short for Opeth. One of the shortest songs for Opeth. And that's all I can really say. It's a fast, rocky song which doesn't have any tricks up its sleeve, really. That's why it's so low, because it's just kind of, it'll be an amazing song on other people's albums. On an Opeth album, it's good. It's just good. Number 86, Hack's Process, again from Heritage. This one, again, is kind of King Crimson-y. It's kind of strange. I think the structure of this one's a bit more cohesive. I love the creepy opening. I love the kids kind of laughing and like having fun in the playground. I love the ending of it. Beautiful guitar. This song is a lot better, in my opinion. And I really do like it, but there's just a lot of other good Opeth songs, so it's going here. Number 85, The Wildflowers. This one is from my least favourite album. I think the sound in Sorceress is a bit muffly, but the actual songs themselves are good. It's just mired by bad kind of mixing, I think. And this song is fine. It's good. It's a good song. It's catchy. I love the jazzy guitar. I love the solo in it. I love the singing in it. It's just all the other songs on the album I think are better. They sing to me more, but this is still a fine song. It's still one of the highlights from the album. It's just, yeah, I just prefer all the others, and that's what I'm going to say for a lot of these fucking songs, because I love Opeth. But the criticisms on it, the sound on this one especially, it's a bit muffly. It's a bit muffly, a bit hard to hear. And the next song I think is slightly better, and that's from the same album again. It is A Seventh Sojourn. Now this one I just prefer. It's more folky with the guitar, and then you got that drum, that it's like it appeals to me more than the jazzy kind of stuff from the Wildflowers. Just the sound, the guitar, the singing in this song especially. I just prefer it. I much prefer it to that one, which is why it's one step higher, but it's still, again, weighed down by some kind of shoddy production, but still a great song. Still an amazing song. Next up, we have Continuum from the latest album. This one, it's like night and day between these two. Night and day. You can completely hear what's going on this album, and it's crisp and it's clear, and this song especially, it sings through. The audio in it sings through. This is a very bombastic song. When it gets to that chorus, when it gets to the verses, when he's like singing his heart out, it's very out there, and I love it. The singing is amazing. Mikkel just keeps getting better and better. This song, yeah, there's nothing bad to say about this song. Again, it's a great, great part of the album. I mean, there's only one song I don't like on the album, and I've already told you about that, so this one is a fantastic one. It's just not as catchy as, say, like, any of the others. So, let's move on. Speaking of more catchy, Heart in Hand is next. One of the singles from the album, and the reason that some of these are so low is the fact that the album's so new. They might rise higher, because these songs are long, these songs are progressive, they're amazing, the singing's good, the guitar's good, everything's good in these songs. It's just, I need more time with them, compared to the rest, which I've had years and years with. This is just like 1 year with, which is not the best basis, but this song especially, super catchy, super melodic. I loved it as soon as it came out, and I still do. Number 81, Voice of Treason. Voice of Treason! The way Mikkel sings that line of, I want to say dialogue, but you know what I mean, that line of singing, the way he says it is amazing. The song itself is kind of ethereal, it's kind of otherworldly, but it's also kind of the same level throughout the song, which is why it's a bit lower. It all has a constant layer, which is a nice layer, it's a somber layer, but there's no peaks and troughs, it's all just kind of standard. A standard kind of doomy affair of a song. So yeah, because there's no real standout moments on this song, it's all just kind of steady. It's fairly low, but I still love the song, and I still love the album, so there we go. Next up, A Fleeting Glance, again from Sorceress. This has a nice kind of Henry VIII style acoustic-y intro, and then kind of like a waltz afterwards, which I really enjoy. It's a nice paced song, it is an interesting song, there's lots of different twists and turns, and it is one of my favourites from the album, so yeah, it's going to go higher than some of the other songs, because I do think it's more interesting. Next up we have Nepenthe from Heritage, and this one took a while to get used to. This one's very kind of bluesy, very kind of just different to everything else they've ever done. Now bear in mind, I listened to Watershed first, and then all the other albums before it, and then so excited for Heritage to come up, and it was so much different, so I was kind of thrown aback. And this is the most different song on the entire album. But unlike Famine, I think this one actually works. Unlike Famine, which is a bit all over the place, this one is kind of, it knows what it is, and it does it well. And I think it is a great song. Next up, Next of Kin. This song is more epic, I think, than a couple of the other ones. It's when he goes to that high vocal part, and the guitars kick in, the distortion, and it's like, wow, that kind of sound you get, and it's kind of evil sounding. I love that about this song, and again, this is one of my favourites from the album. I love it. So it's going a bit higher than some of the others. Next up we have a surprise one from an album I haven't talked about yet, Weakness from Damnation, the final track. It's the worst track on the album in my opinion. I feel like they should have ended on ending credits because I love that song, but Weakness is still great. It's still great. It's just a bit anticlimactic compared to the rest of the album. The rest of the album is stellar, and the Weakness is just kind of like a, it's good, but compared to all the songs before it, it's not quite as good. It's a bit like, you can hear like chimes in it. It's like, doom, 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 doom. You know the melody of it. You know the melody of it. It's a fine song. It's a great song. It's just overshadowed by a lot. 76, Will-O-the-Wisp. The kind of new Harvest. The kind of new Harvest single from Sorceress. And I like this song on Sorceress. This is one of the songs from Sorceress which sounds fresh. Because I think it's because it's an acoustic one. And it actually sounds nice rather than the weird distortion that I hear in a lot of the other songs. But this one has a great acoustic-y kind of ballad by Opeth. I don't think it's quite as good as Harvest, and I don't think it's quite as good as Burden, but it stands up there, and it is catchy, it's beautiful, and it's a great Opeth song. Next up, Dignity, again from Encodervenom. This one is a surprise one. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I do. On first listen, I was kind of like, whoa, this is a bit weird. You got some weird, like, speaking parts in from the TV. You've got weird arrangements, weird speaking parts. It's different to all the other Opeth we've ever heard. Because Encodervenom is a very different one. It's different to Heritage, and it's way different to all the others. But in a good way. And this one is prog rock at its finest. It made me hype for the album, and the album didn't disappoint. So Dignity is a great single, and one of the best from the album. 74, A Strange Brew. This one is a fun song. This is one of the ones from Sorceress I can dig. It's so interesting. It's so strange, as the name implies. It's also quite heavy. It's one of the heavier ones from it, and definitely one of the weirder. It could have been on Heritage. That's how weird it is. But it's a bit heavier than anything on Heritage. Yeah, Strange Brew it elevates the album. It elevates the album, and that's why it's higher than some of the others. Number 73, The Garrotta. Now this was my favourite song from the album, and as you can see it's moved down a couple of places, but it's still an amazing song. It's very, very jazzy. Very jazzy. I could hear this in like a jazz club. I really could. And that's the reason I love it. For that side of the song. Because it is probably the most jazzy one they've ever done. But that side, the musicianship, amazing. The singing, amazing. The melody's amazing. The Garrotta is just an all-round fantastic song. And I love playing it. Number 72, Goblin. And boy, does this song pack a punch. And it's not in like the vocal sense of packing a punch. It's in just the funkiness of the guitar. I could hear this song in a Tool album. So just because of how unique it is and where it's placed on the album, it sings to me, and it's very interesting, more interesting than Sliver in my opinion. So yeah, Goblin, great little song. Number 71, Lines in My Hand. Oh, I love the chorus to this one. The chorus in this one is catchy as hell. His singing is beautiful, just like in a lot of the songs. But yeah, come on. This chorus is fantastic. Solo's amazing. Guitar's beautiful. It's an overall fantastic song. And it pains me to have this so low. Because I love this song. Like, all these songs I love. So it pains me to put any of them low. But now it's going to get hard. Now it's going to get hard. 70, Cusp of Eternity. Told you it was going to get hard. Another one from Pale Communion. And another one I adore. It's a single. It's one of the best. It's one of the best Opeth songs, and it's number fucking 70. That just goes to show how many good songs they've got. Again, the prog rock nature of this song is beautiful. The guitars are melodic as hell. Everything jumps from the screen. It's catchy as fuck, and I adore it. I adore it. 69. Ooh. I feel the dark. Some people don't like this song. Some people don't like Heritage as a whole, but fuck them. I love Fear of the Dark. This isn't Maiden. I Feel the Dark. I love the way he sings it. the creepy nature of this song, the eeriness on this song. I Feel the Dark is perfect. It's one of the songs that always gets stuck in my head. This song gets stuck in my head a lot. So re-listen to it, because it's just the way he says, I feel the dark. Oh, it's too good. Anything with dark in the title is good. 68 from the newer album, Universal Truth. This is one of the best. This is one of the best. From the music video, which kind of feels like a Steve Wilson video, just to the beautiful melodies, the amazing singing, the great storytelling. Yeah, this song is it's a fucking 10 out of 10. I love this song. And again, it's kind of low, but I'm not going to keep repeating myself. It's a great song. I fucking love it. 67. Hold on now. Don't start shouting. You will when I say the name of it. Okay, 67, we have Harvest. It is a classic. It is probably in top 10s for a lot of people. Kind of like Maiden with Run to the Hills and, Welcome to the Jungle and all that shit. Harvest is probably the most overplayed one for Opeth for me. I played it way too much. Like, I still value it as an amazing song, which is why I put it ahead of some of the others, which I'd probably listen to a bit more. It's still a fantastic song. It's still beautiful. The acoustics, amazing. The singing, amazing. It's just overplayed. It's the only reason it's a bit lower. I mean, a lot lower. And this is probably going to trigger some people, but fuck it, it's my list. Harvest is going here. If I was going to pick songs to play by Opeth right now, I would pick the other 60, whatever. This one is still great, it's just I'm not going to choose it. So, keeping in mind with that line of reasoning, it's lower on my list. Number 66, Chrysalis. Almost rhymed, almost. Another unique kind of song. Another interesting song, and probably the heaviest on the album. Probably more heavy than Strange Brew. I really do love the melody in this song. The structure, the strangeness, everything about it is perfecto. 65, Love, Law and Crime. This is the most beautiful song from the album. It's the most beautiful song, it's the most somber chorus, it speaks to me, and it's magnificent. It's magnificent, and I could listen to it again and again and again, and again, with this later album, they could get higher, but for the time being, it's gonna go here. Number 64, Death Whispered a Lullaby. From Damnation, again, this is a beautiful song. This is a beautiful song, a lot better than the last song, in my opinion. And beautiful is probably the word to describe it. Probably the word to describe any song from that album. It's just a beautiful piece of art. Death Whispered a Lullaby is correct, because it is kind of creepy as well. And I'm going to lead into my next pick, which is Closure. Closure is another beautiful piece of art from Opeth, from the Damnation album. Just, again, somber, very beautiful, very relaxing. And you could just put the Damnation album on any time and just relax to it. It's that kind of album. Closure is that kind of song. I love all the songs in it. It's hard to kind of pick the best. I play the album as a full, but there are some that I prefer. Closure's still a fantastic song though, so love it. 62, Hessian Peel. This is a great song. This is a fantastic song. We're getting into one of the songs with actual death growls in now. Holy crap, but I'd say it's the weakest from Watershed, just because the middle section drags a little bit. That's the only thing I can say. Everything else is fantastic, and even the middle section I still love. It's just maybe cut a couple of minutes off that song, I think, and it would have been perfect, because the Lotus Eater is perfect, and that's, that's long, that's perfect. And Hex Omega's perfect. All these perfect songs. Hessian Peel, kinda, I wouldn't say the weak link. It's just the middle part is a bit weird. Aside from that, love the song overall, love his death growls. It's still a fucking 10 out of 10 song for me, so I'm just kind of nitpicking here. 61, Faith in Others. Oh, the guitar in this one. Beautiful. Love it. One of my favourite songs by Opeth. And again, it's low, but what are you gonna do? Number 60, River. Oh, talking about beautiful. River is beautiful and melodic as hell. Like when he starts singing about the river, ugh, it kind of feels creepy. This one as well. Creepy in like a beautiful way. Beautifully creepy. Eerie, unsettling, but also beautiful. That's the way to describe this song, and I adore it. 59, All Things Will Pass, the last song from the latest album, and my god, what a closer. What an absolute banger of a closer, and that whole outro section of that song brings a tear to your eye, because it's one of the best guitar outros ever. The solo is magnifique. It's kind of like Floods, you know, by Pantera, when you have that amazing outro. It's kind of like that. Adore this song. I love it to bits. Next up, Hours of Wealth from Ghost Reveries. Probably a bit weird to have like these kind of almost interlude kind of songs a bit higher, but I love it. I love it. I love where it's placed. I love the quiet nature of it. I love the eerie nature of this one. The whole album for Ghost Reveries is kind of eerie, and this one just, it fits perfectly in the album. So I'm not going to take it out. You know, I'm going to have it high because I love listening to it as a whole package, and I never skip it. And it always makes me smile. So it's going higher than some of the others. I adore it. And the singing when there's no like guitar in the background, when it's just Mikkel's voice, awesome. Next up, To Rid the Disease. Another one from Damnation, and again, somber, beautiful, all the words to describe closure and the other songs, but this one has that kind of trancey melody in it, which just has me hooked. It has me hooked, and you know the melody, it's just that kind of sway, kind of, you're entranced in the music. That's the best way I can describe it, and it is an entrancing song, and it is an amazing song. Next up, Isolation Years, the final track on Ghost Reveries, and you talk about beautiful. This is probably one of the most beautiful ones from Opeth. It just closes the album so well and makes it a nice, neat package, and his singing is some of the best he's done. It's amazing, brings everything to a closure, and it's one of the best outro songs from Opeth, so it's gotta go here. I adore it. 55, Benighted. Saw you benighted by a fry. This song is fucking killer. Don't care what anyone says, Benighted is killer. It's catchy, it's beautiful, it's kind of a similar style as Isolation Years, but in my opinion, bit more catchier, bit more beautiful, bit more everything, which is why it's a bit more higher. So Benighted is a fantastic song, and I love it to bits. 54, Folklore. That wasn't supposed to rhyme, but it did. Folklore is just one of the best from Heritage. It is a fantastic song. It's proggy as fuck. It's got the folk elements in it. It's got the amazing solo in the middle. I've seen this one live, and it blew my balls off. It's probably one of the best songs. Probably one of the best songs, newer songs by Opeth. So 10 out of 10. Easily. 53, Eternal Rains Will Come from Pale Communion. This one, it's just like everything you like from prog rock personified to 11. Turn it up. Everything's better. The guitars are better. The catchiness is better. The hooks are there. It's just a beautiful, beautiful song to an already beautiful album. 52, Hex Omega. Another song I've seen live, and I think seeing some of the songs live makes you appreciate them more, because I was never a big fan of this one at first. But on re-listening, just the kind of weird sonic soundscape this song creates is perfect. It's creepy, it's unsettling, it's disturbing, and it's exactly what you want with a weird Opeth song. And it gets stuck in your head, and the riffs are heavy as hell. It's amazing. 51, End of an Era. Not at all what he says, but this one, it has a music video which is also awesome. Catchy as hell. The chorus is catchy as hell when he sings End of an Era. It's also kind of emotional. It's an emotional song by Opeth, and it sings to me more than a lot of the others, like Harvest and stuff. This one sings to me more. I think this one is a better emotional song than a lot of the others I've mentioned, which is why it's higher than them. Number 50, You're a Sorceress, dun 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 dun. That has got to be one of the catchiest Opeth songs. It has to be. And the riffs are some of the catchiest Opeth riffs. Jazzy as hell, evil as hell. When I heard this song, I was like blown away. That's how good Sorceress is. That single, that song, is perfection. 49, we have Coil. This is probably the weirdest placement. You're probably like, what? Why is that higher than Harvest? Bear with me on this one. Coil was the very first Opeth song I ever heard. So it has a place in my heart. As soon as I heard Opeth, as soon as I heard Coil, like the beautiful guitar, her singing matched with his singing, I knew I was in for something good. And oh boy, was I. This song is still amazing to me. It's still a 10 out of 10 to me. Nostalgia reason aside, it's still a beautiful song. Sure, it's short as hell, but it packs a punch in that short 20 minutes or whatever the hell length it is. So for those reasons, I'm not going to lie to myself, it's going high. It's going here. Number 48, Atonement. Back to the more beautiful side of Opeth, and this again is just, it's eye-watering. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful one. And I'm going to kind of lead it into the next song, which is Hope Leaves from Damnation. And we talk about beautiful, we talk about somberness, we talk about all these emotions that you feel. Hope Leaves is another one. Another just perfect example of how Opeth can do emotion so well. 46, The Devil's Orchard. Oh, I love this song. The solo in this song is one of the best solos of all time, in my opinion. It is the best Opeth solo, for me, personally. It doesn't go on too long. It cuts off exactly where it needs to, and you're craving more. That's what I like in the best solos. That's what I like. And this one delivers it, and it like, oh, it's too good. I want to listen to it now. Talking about it, I want to listen to it. It is the best song from Heritage, and it's probably one of my favourite Opeth songs, which is weird because it's low down again, but we are getting into the meat and potatoes now, so get ready. 45, In My Time of Need. A beautiful song from Damnation. That kind of wavering vocals and wavering like riff, it's so catchy, it's so melodic, it's beauty personified into a song. In My Time of Need is, if there wasn't another song from Damnation which was a masterpiece, this would be my favourite song from Damnation, and it still is. It's my second favourite, so you already know what that one's going to be, and that'll be a bit higher, but I love In My Time of Need. It is underrated as hell. It's one of the best. 44, Credence. We're just carrying on with all the beautiful songs now, aren't we? Credence I heard live, and it blew my head off. When he did the acoustic set, I saw them when they was on the Heritage Tour, and he brought out his acoustic guitar and played Credence, and I love Credence. It's one of my favourite songs, and it was magical. Magical is the word for it. It's so depressing. It's so kind of like Catatonia, this song, which I love. So this song speaks to me. Amazing. 43, Heir Apparent. This is a heavy, heavy song from the album. Heavy as hell. One of my favourites. I think it's a bit better than Hessian Peel, in my opinion. Well, I think it's quite a bit better. It's got the proggy nature of it. It's got the heavy nature. It's got the death growls. It's got the evilness trapped within. They haven't lost it. Well, I mean, they have now, but from Watershed, they haven't lost it. And this song shows that they could still do it amazingly. 42 and 41, I'm going to compile together because I can't really tell the difference. Sounds bad, but we're getting into Orchid now. And those are Twilight Is My Robe. Yeah. And The Apostle in Triumph. These two, I do not know which one I like better. They both have amazing melodies in. They both have amazing black metal singing in. They each have perfect parts in the songs. I don't know what to rank them. They're both kind of equal for me. Whenever I listen to Orchid, they're both kind of on the same playing field. The others I prefer, but these two are just kind of really fucking good. Really fucking good. The Apostle in Triumph last, and then Twilight is My Robe a bit above it. It doesn't really matter though, because they're both beautiful. 40, White Cluster. This is from my favourite album, and you'd think this would be a bit higher, but this is probably one of the weaker ones for me on the album, just because every other song is so monolithically 11 out of 10. This one's just a 10 out of 10. Still heavy, still amazing wrap up to the story, but again, I find more things catchy in the other songs. So White Cluster is going here for the time being. I just need maybe hundreds of more listens, but the others just grab my attention a lot sooner, so that's the only reason. Next up, By the Pain I See in Others from Deliverance. This closer to the song, this closer to the album is just phenomenal. The only reason it's a bit lower down is that whole silence outro. You know, they could have cut it. But I know more music comes back at the end, I know, but kind of feels like wasted space. They could have just cut that down and it'd be perfect, because the song itself, the melodies in it, the aggression, the vocals, all perfect. It's just that last section, cut it out. Cut it out, it doesn't need to be there. And then we are good to go. 38, Porcelain Heart. The first single I heard from Opeth. I adore it. I adore it. I adore the music video. I adore just how creepy it is, how atmospheric it is, how catchy it is. It's a very different song for Opeth, and it's one of the first ones I heard, so it's got to go higher in my list, and it's going here. 37, The Funeral Portrait. This is heavy as hell. It's amazing as hell. The only reason it's here, is because the other songs are more memorable. That's it. This song is still flawless. It's still heavy as fuck. But, like, all the other songs on Blackwater Park, I can kind of be like, I like that because of that melody. That melody I know in my head. When you say The Funeral Portrait to me, I can't think of anything. Like, you say Drapery Falls and I know the rhythm in my head. I know the melody in my head. With Funeral Portrait, I'm kind of like, I know it's good. I always enjoy it, but I can't remember it. For that alone, it has to go here. 36, Beneath the Mire. Oh, I love this one. It's kind of like a weird, crazy merry-go-round. Like a carnival sound. You know, when it does the drum, it's like... I started doing EastEnders then. What the fuck? Beneath the Mire. Opeth's version of EastEnders. 35, Nectar. Morning Rise. The first song from Norman Rise? Sure. The first song from Morning Rise. And it's the weakest one. But even the weakest one is just fantastic. Even the weakest one is still fantastic. But again, like Funeral Portrait, not as memorable for me compared to the rest of the songs. Not as memorable. I couldn't pick out a section from it, so it's going a bit lower. 34, In the Mist She Was Standing. This one feels like you are in the mist. You are in some creepy forest with mist surrounding you. But it also is beautiful because the stars are out. The song's beautiful. The song's evil. The song's mystical. It's everything you want in a black metal-y Opeth song, and it delivers it in spades. 33, With the Moon above and the sun below. I butchered that, but Moon Above, Sun Below, and a newer Opeth song? This high up? What? This one is like a 10-minute song though, and it feels like old Opeth. It's got the same melodies, it's got the same proggy nature, it's still as long. So hell yeah, this one is a fantastic song. 32, Burden, one of the most beautiful songs by Opeth. And that outro with the guitars slowly getting more and more out of tune. What a way to close a song. And then the solo in it. One of the most beautiful Opeth solos ever. Burden's amazing. Burden's amazing. It's one of the best. It's one of my favourites. So it's going pretty high. 31, Dirge for November. Heavy as hell, more memorable than the Funeral Portrait in my opinion. A lot heavier as well. But again, the others on the album just have a little bit of an edge. So it's going to go quite high, but lowish compared to the rest of the songs from Blackwater Park. 30, the Amen Corner. It's not curry. This song, I mean, no songs from this album are bad, to be honest. No songs from any of these albums are bad. But this one is one of the weaker ones from the album. But still, that's being said, it's melodic as hell. It's catchy as hell. I know all the melodies in my head. Not the lyrics, but the melodies I know in my head. Still a flawless song. And the fact that it's one of the weakest doesn't mean it's bad. Still a great bloody song. And it's underrated. This is an underrated song right here. This and another one which I'll talk about. Underrated as hell. 29, Advent. The first song from Morning Rise. And it just punches you in the gut straight away. Delivers everything you want to know about the album in the first goddamn track. It's long as hell, proggy as hell, heavy as hell, awesome as hell. Now I told you we get back to it. Karma, the most underrated Opeth song of all time. The fucking outro is intense as hell. That's why I put it in my Try Not to Headbang challenge, because I think it's one of the most heaviest parts of Opeth ever. Karma is underrated as hell. Easily one of my favourites. 27, The Forest of October. Just that intro guitar. You know it. It's amazing. The intro guitar is amazing. The melody throughout is infectious. It's creepy as hell, kind of like In the Mist She Was Standing, but more memorable. It's like that song, but better and more memorable. So it's going higher, and I adore this song. 26, Moonlapse Vertigo. This one is fucking awesome. I love the kind of... I love the guitar in this one because you can hear him like sliding down the frets. And it feels authentic, it feels real. And just the groove of it is just 10 out of 10. Groove of it's 10 out of 10. Story points in the song, 10 out of 10. Vocals, 10 out of 10. Memorability. I don't know if that's a word, but also 10 out of 10. This song's flawless. This album's flawless. Fucking go buy it. 25, The Lotus Eater. One of the best from Watershed. Just that intro, you know. I'm not going to do it all, but when he does that humming intro and then it hits with the drums, it's like and he just like just starts screaming. Oh, best intro to a song by Opeth ever. I'm going out on a limb, the best intro to a song, and it keeps up the intensity throughout. Flawless song. 24, I hear the baying of the hounds. 24, baying of the hounds. I hear them devouring. Such a heavy, evil song from Ghost Reveries. Catchy as fuck, evil as fuck, intense as hell. Just a great song. A great journey, a great song, and it's one of my favourites. 23, Godhead's Lament. Everything you say about baying of the hounds, but also apply it to this one. And I think I prefer the riffs a little bit more. That's the only reason it's higher. They're both perfect 10 out of 10 songs, and I'd choose any of them over each other, but for the time being, Godhead's lands here because I've just listened to it a hell of a lot more, and I just, that whole album is perfection, and this is no different. Perfect song from a perfect album. 22, Leper Affinity, talking about perfect albums. Blackwater fucking Park. Leper Affinity, just as soon as you hear it, as soon as you hear the riffs kick in, you know you're in for just an amazing death metal time. And ooh boy, are you. Ooh boy. Leper Affinity, one of the heaviest songs from the album, one of the catchiest songs from the album, but it's not even the best song from the album, so there's still like 3 more to go, and we'll get to them soon. 21, Reef. Speaking of heavy, this one is fucking mind-meltingly heavy. That drumming in Reef, blows your eyes up. Blows your eyes up. Reef is probably the heaviest song Opeth have done. In my opinion, Reef is probably the heaviest. 20, When. Oh, I love this song. I love this song. I love how it kind of ties in with April Ethereal. Like, they just bleed into each other so well. I prefer April a little bit more, but When still has that catchy-ass chorus. Still has that evil melody. An amazing solo. It's fantastic. 19, The Grand Conjuration. The drumming in it and kind of the evil atmosphere where it's like doom 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 doom. Yeah, it's a great song. Now I feel like it. Now thinking about it, this should be higher. This should be in my top 10. Why isn't this in my top 10? Oh well, the list is done. Love Grand Conjuration. Easily one of the best from the album. Should be fucking higher, but I've already done my list, so what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Love this song to bits. Nothing bad to say. There's no bad things. There's no bad parts about this song. There just isn't. Flawless song. Love it. 18, A Fair Judgment from Deliverance. This is one of those rare songs which has the clean singing, but also the intensity. It's fast as hell, furious as hell, but with the clean singing. And that's what I love about it. Love it. It's beautiful without trading the heaviness. You know what I mean? In the later albums, they've traded the heaviness for the more beautiful side. In this, it's both. Literally a perfect harmony of both. So, Fair Judgment is amazing. 17, Under the Weeping Moon. Talk about the best black metal. Under the Weeping Moon, one of the best black metal songs by Opeth. Just the way he says it, the eerie atmosphere, every time it gets to that section in the song, I feel like I'm at a creepy lake looking at the moon. It just feels that way. And when good music transports you, you know it's good. When music takes you places, you know that it's a good song. So this one, awesome. 16, The Night and the Silent Water. This is one of my personal favourites. I know Mikkel doesn't like it that much, but I fucking love it. I love the singing when it gets to the night and the silent water. Still, I can't remember the lyrics, but still something on, and it gets to that part. It's magical, magical. It's one of the most beautiful Opeth songs. One of. We'll get to the most, and it's just a great addition to Morning Rise, which is already a flawless album. This just adds to it. 15. Ghost of Perdition, you all know this song. But when that intro hits, and it's like, Ghost of Perdition, rendering down. You love it. You gotta love it, you gotta headbang to it. It's the most catchy riff, it's the most well-known Opeth song. Even then, this compared to Harvest, I pick this, you know, because it's more interesting. There's more sections, it's longer, it's heavier. It has beautiful parts, but it doesn't compromise the heaviness. Ghost of Perdition, still awesome after all these years. Still love it. 14, Demon of the Fall. Another one people would have quite high on the list, and I understand. It's heavy as fuck. It's also evil as hell, but then the second half is beautiful as hell. Again, just like the perfect songs, it mixes the beautiful and the heavy side amazingly, and then, you know, Demon of the Fall. You can't help but sing that part. You can't help it. 13, my favourite song from Ghost Reveries, Reverie Harlequin Forest. This one just has more in it than the rest of the songs, in my opinion. It's more interesting, it's more engaging. I feel like I'm in a forest and demons are chasing me at one part, and then I feel like I'm at a lake relaxing at one part. It has that kind of build-up and an explosion. It's heavy at first and then quieter. The song just is an overall amazing proggy package, and it's one of my favourites, and it is my favourite from that album. 12, talked about it before, The Drapery Falls. One of the songs I know. One of the songs I just know, the melody in it is just out of this world. The melody in this song is phenomenal. Easily one of my favourites from Blackwater Park. And there's still more to come, like my next one, which is Bleak. One with Steve Wilson in, as well. I think Steve Wilson produced the album as well. And it shows because this album's masterful. It's masterful. Bleak is also masterful. One of the heaviest from Blackwater Park. And catchy as hell. Number 10, Master's Apprentices. This one, speaking of heavy, this one, the drumming again. Oh, so goddamn good. Heavy as hell from the heaviest album. And that's saying something, because the other songs on this album, like Deliverance and shit, they're heavy as fuck as well. Master's Apprentices is one of my favourites. It's gonna go in the top 10. Number 9, from one of the heaviest to one of the most beautiful. That is To Bid You Farewell. I love it. I love it. I just love the beginning. I love the heaviness in the middle. I love the end, which ties it into the beginning. And just those end words stick with me. Always stuck with me. Always will. I love it. It's beautiful. Don't want to gush about it too much, but it's an amazing song. It's going in my top 10. Number 8, April Ethereal. The lyrics in this, the melodies in this, the solo in this, everything is magical. When he sings, and when the night came, the forest folded its branches around me. Best lyrics in an Opeth song. Hands down, best lyrics in an Opeth song. Love it. Number 7, Window Pane. The most kind of interesting song, I'd say. Jazzy riff throughout, the infectious melody, the amazing singing, the clean singing. When Damnation came out, like, Window Pane was just, oh boy. Window Pane is one of the best songs by Opeth, hands down. I wanted it higher, but just the other songs were just too good as well. So, it has to go somewhere. It's going here. Window Pane is flawless. Number 6, Serenity Painted Death. Ugh. Gotta do the after saying it. Evil as hell, heavy as hell. Just the lyrics when he's going on a killing rampage on the album. You know it's great. You know it's great. It's more interesting, more entertaining than White Cluster in my opinion. More catchy. Like, I can hear him singing it in my head. Serenity Painted Death. Ugh. Just, come on. Love it. The closest it's gonna be to, like, full-on brutal kind of death metal song. Absolutely adore this song. 5, keeping in with the same album, we have the first song from it, The More. Amazing acoustic opening, and then it makes you jump out your skin when the riff hits and it gets super heavy. Melodic as hell. One of my favourite songs of all time, not just by Opeth, but of all time, has to be in my top 10. 4, we're going with Deliverance. You know, the best outro ever made. That drumming outro was like just keep going and keeps going and keeps going. It's intense as hell. Drumming off the charts. Deliverance thrown back at me. Come on. Every part of this song is perfection. Songs are 10. Albums are 10. What are you going to do? Number 3, Blackwater Park. Just like Deliverance, every part is memorable. Especially the ending, where the sun sets forever over Blackwater Park. Just doon 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 doon. The riffs in it. His singing when he screams the sun sets forever over Blackwater Park. You know he means it. Intense as all hell. Fun as all hell. Blackwater Park is just magnificent. Number 2, I always kind of flip-flop. At the time being, number 2 is Black Rose Immortal. The longest song, most proggy song. It has black metal sections, it has folky sections, it has cool guitar solos, it has heavy riffs, amazing drumming. What more do you want? Black Rose Immortal is an immortal song by Opeth. One of the best of all time. But this moment right now, my number 1 favourite song by Opeth is Face of Melinda. It just is. It's my favourite album. It all kind of comes to a head. And this song onwards, the crazy shit starts happening. So, it's the peak. It's the peak right here. And this is the song that I heard live, which made me love them even more, basically. The heaviness after the beautifulness of the beginning, when it gets to that peak, which is what I love in songs, slow build and then peak. This one does that, and it explodes amazingly, and it's got the heaviest riff I've heard. It's got the most infectious, kind of catchy, kind of sway riff ever. You know the part, as soon as it gets to it, and it's like dun 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 dun. It's just too good. Too good. Can't help but headbang. It has emotional moments, has heavy moments, comes to a closer really nice, and it's a good story, so it has a whole package. Face and Melinda, easy number one. So let me know what you guys thought of the list. What would you change? What would you replace? What's your favourite Opeth songs of all time? And why should I have Harvest higher? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.